What if I told you leadership doesn't begin the day you get promoted? It begins the moment you decide to lead, right where you are. Welcome back to the Learning Reframe Leadership Series. I'm Dr. Ken Feldman, and this is a podcast about learning and leadership that works in clear, practical, and grounded ways. And today we're diving into something that every aspiring leader needs to hear. Whether you've been on your job for 3 months or 30 years, you do not have to wait for a title to start leading. You do not need permission to make a difference. And leadership does not begin on the day your business card changes. Leadership starts where you stand, right now, exactly where you're planted. The lie that holds people back is that most people carry an invisible belief that sounds something like this: I'll start acting like a leader when someone gives me the job. But here's the truth. No one gets promoted in order to become a leader. People get promoted because they've already been leading. Titles do not create leaders, they recognize them. And too many talented people miss their moment because they're waiting for validation, waiting to be tapped, waiting for someone to notice. But leadership isn't about waiting. Leadership is about showing up. So, the myth breaker, let's flip the script. Leadership is not a title. It's not a box on an org chart. It's not power over others or the loudest voice in the room. Leadership is ownership, consistency, influence, being trustworthy, being someone others want to follow. So here's our anchor for today. Grow where you're planted and watch opportunities chase you. Let me tell you a quick story about Ken. Early in my career, I wanted to lead. I wanted to lead badly, but no one was offering me a leadership role. I kept thinking, why doesn't anyone see what I'm capable of? A great mentor of mine told me something that stuck to this day. He said, Ken, leadership isn't something you are handed. It's something you prove in small ways. So I started volunteering for projects that no one else wanted. I showed up early, stayed late, was engaged. I stopped waiting to be asked. I solved problems instead of reporting them, and guess what happened? People began turning to me as if I already had the title. And eventually, the titles followed, one after the next. Not because I demanded them, but because I grew where I was planted. So there are ways to start leading where you are. Let's get practical. There are 5 steps, 5 ways to grow your leadership without waiting for permission. The first, master your current role. Before you can run a department, run your desk. Excellent becomes your reputation. Build trust like currency. Do what you say you'll do every time. Trust is more valuable than talent. Solve problems. Don't just spot them. Leaders are solution creators. If you bring a complaint, bring a suggestion. Elevate others. Shining alone is fine, but shining with your team is indispensable. Give credit freely. Share your knowledge. Mentor sideways. Show leadership gravity leaders attract to. People follow reliability, steadiness, clarity, not titles. When you operate like a leader, others treat you as such. There's the roots before branches. Let's picture a tree. Before you ever see the branches, the roots grow deep, deep below the ground, unseen. Leadership works the exact same way. Roots are your habits, reliability, your character, emotional maturity, self-awareness, and discipline. Branches are the promotions, authority, titles, visibility, decision-making power. Most of the world looks at branches, but sustained leadership is built in the roots, out of sight, long before recognition comes. Your job? Grow down before you grow up. Here's the reward. When you grow where you're planted, you become the go-to person, the fixer, the connector, the rock mover, the person people trust, the person leaders can rely on. Leadership opportunities start showing up because of who you've already become. So stop chasing titles. Titles start chasing you. You won't always have a perfect boss. You won't always get the credit. Sometimes the right people won't see the value immediately. But growth is a skill that's never wasted. Every skill builds strengths for your next chapter, wherever it takes you. So, action steps for this coming week. Here's your challenge. Pick one leadership behavior to demonstrate this coming week without being asked. Volunteer for a task no one wants. Offer to mentor a new colleague. Turn a complaint into a solution. Finish something ahead of schedule. Ask your leader, what's the one thing I can take off your plate? Lead quietly. Let your actions speak loudly. Next month, we'll take this further and talk about how to become visible for the right reasons. Not loud, not political, not self-promoting, but authentic behavior that's authentically seen by leadership. Remember, leadership is not a moment you wait for. It's a muscle you build. It's a muscle you grow daily. Grow where you're planted. Lead where you stand. If today's episode resonated with you, follow us on your favorite podcast platform and give us a like on YouTube. But most importantly, share this episode with someone who you might find it helpful. I'm Dr. Ken Feldman. Thanks for listening to Learning Reframe Leadership Series. We'll see you next time.